everybody, welcome to Bear Insider, Ultimate Insider. I am Mike Pawlawski, former Cal quarterback, 11-year pro, and Hall of Famer here at Cal. Today, we are looking at the Sac State Cal game coming up this weekend. Anytime you get an FCS team versus an FBS team, obviously the FBS team is strongly favored. This year, there's been a couple upsets around college football in Montana beating Washington, Jacksonville State beating Florida State. And so obviously the Bears are preparing and getting ready with that on their minds, knowing that they don't want to be the third upset of the year. So they got to go into this game, be focused on the game, be ready to go, and they got to bring their A game because today they're playing a Sacramento State team coached by one of our own. And he is coming on the show with me today. I've told people in the past, he helped me to have the career that I had at Cal. Part of our success as a team goes back to how Troy Taylor taught me how to play the position of quarterback and how to manage myself. And so I wanted to bring you kind of that inside with Troy. He was my color analyst in the booth in my absence, kind of in between me at Cal. He was a coach at Cal. He was a quarterback student, obviously. He loves Cal. But I wanted to bring him on the show and let you guys get to meet Troy Taylor as he is as a head coach now. He's doing a fantastic job. He was the coach of the year in the FCS 2 years ago. Sac State didn't play last year. And so they're coming back this year, 1-1 so far. But he's going to have his team ready to go. He's going to have his team ready to come home. I'm sure it's going to be special for him. And he has several other coaches on the staff that also coached at Cal. So without further ado, let's get to my interview with Troy Taylor. Well, so now we have, at one point, Cal's all-time passing leader, a phenomenal head coach, an innovative coach, and my all-time favorite Cal quarterback joining us here, my former roommate and the guy who taught me how to be a pro in college as a quarterback, Troy Taylor. TT, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Mike. Great to be here.
I mean, always awesome to talk to you no matter when it is. But this game kind of special, right? So you as a player you were a player at Cal. You were a student at Cal. You ended up becoming a coach at Cal. You're an alumni at Cal. So you've had essentially every job. And one could argue, since we had to clean up the locker room under Snyder, you had some custodial duties too, right? So you've had every job at Cal. And now you're the head coach at Sac State coming back, and it's going to be your first time walking out of the other tunnel. Yeah. What does that feel like for you?
I don't know. I'll let you know when it happens on Saturday. It's going to be strange probably walking out, like you. I've been there so many times, but never as an opponent. So I've always wondered why we, as a home team, we had to look into the sun. Why weren't we on the other side? But, you don't ask questions when you're that age, right? So, I guess I'll have the sun to my back, which is, they say, is an advantage, I guess. But no, we're really excited about the opportunity. Obviously, it's a great football team we're playing. They're talented and well coached. We feel lucky to have the opportunity to play them.
That's great. I was just making that point last week versus TCU, where it's hot and it's sunny. And then the opposing team, right, the visiting team, is in the sun the entire game. And the home team gets to sit in the shade, of the press box. And I'm like, why don't we do that at Cal? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Not only that, you're opposite the press box if you're the opposing team, so your coaches can pick signals easier if you do that.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
There's so many benefits to being, putting the opponent opposite the press box. What's up?
Absolutely. Yeah. You think we'd figure that out, we being Cal at some point, but I guess it hasn't made a huge difference, but yeah, we'll enjoy the experience and hopefully we'll play well and have a chance.
So talk to me about, here's one of the things I love. And for all the Bear Insider fans out there, Cal fans out there, one of the things that TT brings to football as a coach, as a head coach, is a mentality that you don't often hear in football, right? So many coaches in football, like, it's all about the grind, and it's about, it sounds like work when you're doing football. And there's so many things that are so strict in football, accountability, right? Being on time. There's so many things that if guys love it and enjoy it, it makes it easier to get that buy-in. And that's what you bring to a program.
Yeah. I don't consider what I do work. I mean, I really enjoy it. I love it. What my dad did and my mom was work. My dad was a carpenter. He pounded nails into boards and 100-degree temperature in Sacramento heat. My mom was on her feet, 9 hours a day as a grocery clerk. I'm drawing up plays. I'm hanging out with student athletes and get to play football and watch it and all those things. So I feel really lucky, and hopefully that shows when we play. I think our guys have a good time. We're not a fear-based team or program. We're going to go out and cut it loose and have fun doing it. And hopefully we end up on the right side of the scoreboard, but if not, we'll have another opportunity the next week. So we really enjoy what we're doing. We try to play a fun brand of football, and our guys, I think, enjoy it.
As you know, having known me forever, 30 plus years now, the kind of the psychological side of it, the chemistry side of it, is what fascinates me about the game. X's and O's. Like, if you're at this level of coaching, you have access to good X's and O's. At least you've got game film from every team across the country. You can look at NFL film, so you have access to good X's and O's. But the chemistry side of it, building culture. Where did you come by your philosophy on building culture?
Well, I mean, I think it's been a growth process, and as an athlete and as a coach, you try different things and have success and have failure, and then you try to figure out why you're successful, and when you're not successful, why. And so what I kind of did was I looked at all the things that I had been successful in, and then I tried to figure out kind of why it allowed me to be successful. And what I always came back to was love. I love football. I love competing. And so I try to bring that to our team and our organization. So I try to bring in guys that love football and love competing, and try and bring in coaches that would do it for free. I coached, high school football for 14 years, which is basically, as you know, Mike, for free. The amount of money you get, it's like a volunteer position. You do it out of love. So I'm way. So we try to bring in players that don't feel entitled, that feel very fortunate to be at a great university, get to play football every day, and coaches that are the same way. And then I just think you have a hopeful disposition. You believe in the realm of possibility, that anything's possible. And that's where we try to live, and we try to have our players there. So we don't go into things thinking that it's an impossible task. We just take it day by day, enjoy the moment, and feel that we're capable of really doing anything. Now, that comes a lot of hard work, but we enjoy that work.
And it kind of gets to your first year when you take over at Sac State, right? A team who historically did not have a great record, right? The year before you got there, you come in, you take over, and immediately you get a turnaround in the program. How much of that mentality that you brought in was the key to that turnover? How much of it was the guys that were there and finding the right scheme for them?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. They had recruited good players, and how important confidence is, Mike, that you believe in yourself and what you're doing. It can make all the difference in the world. So I think our guys came in, our coaching staff came in and made a real concerted purpose of making our guys believe in themselves, and creating a culture of enjoying work and working hard. We work hard, but it's not hard work, so you'll see our guys out constantly working, and we got a little bit of momentum, and as you know, that's important in all sports, and guys started believing in themselves, and we were able to kind of capture that and move forward. So it's all like you, I'm really intrigued by culture and dynamics and human interaction and all those things, and trying to find the right balance of pushing guys to get the most out of them, but also believing in them and getting them to give their very best. And then we also are big on being grateful. I think in this world, and especially in college sports and professional sports, there's almost a feeling that people feel entitled to things. And we don't feel that way. We feel very, very fortunate that we're able to play college football and go to school here at Sacramento State. And these guys are really lucky, and they know it. And so, we're not getting into the name, likeness, and image. We're just we just love playing football, and hopefully we take advantage of each one of our opportunities. We got a great one on Saturday against Cal.
Yeah, I mean, what an amazing country we live in, that we get to play football. Like, some of us got to do it for a living. You and I got to do it for a living. You get to coach it for a living, right? And got to announce it for a living, right? I get to call it for a living. I'm around it all the time. The sport we love, and we get to do this and make money is just,
it's unbelievable, incredible. Mike. It's like miracle that somebody pays me to coach football, to something that I would absolutely do for free. I did it for 14 years for free. So you're right. And just, I think, having that point of departure, we see so many coaches, college and professional level, they look exhausted and miserable on the sidelines, and they almost feel sorry for themselves. That, I don't know how I'm going to do this, the grind and all that. And I'm like, I really hate that word, the grind. It's like, what we do is not a grind. What we do is, it's like I said, it's a miracle that we get to do it as a living, for a living. So I don't know. We're really fortunate. We're enjoying everything we're doing, and it's always a little bit more fun if you win. But regardless, we're still getting to do something that we really love and get to go to school. Some of them for free, which is amazing, and then I get to be paid to coach football. So hopefully people feel that with our program, and it shows up on the field.
Well, I could definitely feel it when I was in and around the offices, right? A great coaching staff, great mentality, the whole 9 yards. And so it's always nice to walk into a football program and feel that instead of feeling like you're walking into the Death Star, Darth Vader with the Force hanging over your head at all times. The dark side's about to get you. So that said, and obviously I'm loyal to Troy Taylor as much as I am Cal. Talk about this game coming up without giving away any scheme here.
Yeah.
Kind of what are the obstacles that you face, right? What are your biggest challenges coming in?
Yeah, I think, when you're talking about anytime you're talking about FCS team against an FBS team, so there's going to be disparity in depth, right? Because they have more scholarships. So things like special teams, those things, sometimes there can be disparity. So we got to be really good on special teams. We got to be able to match their physicality. They're a big physical team right from the beginning and go toe to toe. They're very talented. They're obviously well coached. But we're excited. We go in with the mentality that we're there to win the game. But that doesn't really matter. It's more the play to one play to the next play. And so again, coming back to being mindful and enjoying what we're doing and just taking it one play at a time and taking care of the football. They got some great players, obviously. Cameron Good, their defensive end, is probably the best player we'll play against all year. He's fantastic. I think their safeties are really good. Hicks and Scott. They're good at a lot of positions, but we feel good about our guys as well. So it'll be a challenge, but we got to play well, Mike. I mean, that's going to, when you're playing against a team like this, you're going to have to play well, maybe get a couple of breaks and then find a way to make it happen at the end.
Do you reference that Montana-Washington game at all, or the Jacksonville State, Florida State games at all with your team, or do you just kind of stay focused in what you guys do?
Yeah, not bring it up at all. I try to stay away from the feeling of desperation or
right.
I just we got the feeling that we expect it. And so we've tried to teach our guys to expect to compete and win the football game. And if you expect, you don't have to talk about it too much. We don't have a lot of team meetings. We don't talk a lot about things like that. We stick to our everyday routine. And then we'll compete on Saturday and put it all on the field and we'll see what happens.
Here's a question that I don't know that I've asked you this before, but obviously as a former quarterback, right, offensive guy, offensive coordinator, and you and I can't tell you how many times we've drawn up defenses on the boards together in the same room, right, looking at scheme, the whole 9 yards. Now as a head coach, right, part of your kind of management duties, I know you've got Andy Thompson there as well, but part of your management duties are managing that defense as well. So what's that been like for you as a transition?
It's been great because I trust Andy Thompson so much that I let him do his thing. And I think, with good people, whatever, realm or area you're in, people that are really good do not like to be micromanaged. They just don't. So the best thing I can do with a talented guy like Andy Thompson, our defensive staff, is leave him alone and support him, and maybe not turn over the ball as much as we did last week. So that's the best thing that we can do. Anything we do defensively and the success we have is 100% on our defensive staff. And my job is to just let them do their thing.
So you come off that game last week, right? How do you kind of, I won't say right the ship because I'm not, there's no panic involved with it, but how do you kind of get back on track?
Yeah, I mean, you go right back to work. What we talked about the next day, we pride ourselves in being the same guys after a win or after a loss. So we are not big on overly celebrating a victory and having all these awards and everything. In the same sense, we're not going to browbeat our guys when we lose. We watch the tape, we address it. Obviously, we're trying to improve on the things that we need to, but I just talked to our guys and said, hey, one game doesn't define us. In this case, it was one quarter. It was the third quarter. That's not going to define us. We're going to move on, just like as if we won the game to the next challenge. So and spent a lot of time talking about it, learned it, addressed the issues, and then move forward.
Tell me your favorite memory at Cal, right? I know there's a million of them, but anything that pops out in your head, find it kind of funny, emotional, whatever.
Yeah. As a player, there were so many, Mike. I mean, as you know, Berkeley's such a special place. I know you feel the same way. It's really kind of forged me into the person I am, both, on the field as a competitor, but also off the field. Just the amazing people you meet there and what Cal Berkeley stands for and what they believe in. It just is a place that alters you in a good way. So, we didn't have the success as a player that I would have liked. My only 2 goals at Cal were to be the starter and win the Rose Bowl, and one of those happened. But it's a special place that I'll always admire and enjoy, and I wish them nothing but luck and hope they get to the Rose Bowl. But it's a great opportunity for all of our team to come back, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, just after this game, right, though, as a head coach, get back to that Rose Bowl winning ways.
That's
I love
right.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, we used to go back even to the point of pass rush drills for us in practice during special teams, go all the way back. So I have so many great memories of that place, a bunch of them because of you, right? You helping me learn how to play the position, you helping me learn how to be a quarterback at that level. And so here, on Bear Inside in front of everybody, thank you so much for what you did for me and for what you did with the program. You are without a doubt my favorite Cal quarterback of all times.
Thanks, brother. Well, I love you, and you were a special player, and you're a special friend, and can't wait to see you in Memorial Stadium.
It's going to be the first time we'll be on the turf together since you coached there. So it's a long time since you and I have seen each other on the turf at Memorial Stadium. It's going to be great. Looking forward to having you back home. I know you're the head coach of the Hornets, but you're always at home at Berkeley. So I'm going to come down there and see you before the game. Have a great week. Another couple of days here leading into the game, and good luck this Saturday.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you.
Well, as you can see, and you probably heard, Troy Taylor, my all-time favorite quarterback, but a guy, high-class guy, high-character guy, and a guy that I would have my son play for anywhere. So a couple of great coaches going into this one. I think Justin Wilcox also a very high-character guy. And so you've got a couple of staffs with high-character coaches, high-character players coming in to play, and it's going to be a good game. Always love seeing Troy Taylor come back home. Obviously, this week the Bears have to stay focused and dialed in to this game. There is no overlooking the Sac State team. Troy Taylor, his staff, Andy Thompson, as we talked about, a very good defensive coordinator. And so the Bears are going to have to be on their best behavior, if you will, dialed in, ready to go come game time. And so a big home game for the Bears. Got to get it done. I appreciate you watching. Just want to give you a little insight into Sac State. You can expect them to throw the ball a lot. They're going to be multiple on defense, and so the Bears are going to have to come up with some answers both defensively and offensively against this Sac State team. I appreciate you watching, getting ready for the Bears versus the Hornets this Saturday, Memorial Stadium. Call will start at 1 o'clock. You can always check me out on the radio. And remember, if you want more inside football knowledge, like the real X's and O's, the gritty stuff, talking about cover 3 and match coverage and defensive fronts and stunts and all these different things, the way quarterbacks think, you can always check me out on my YouTube channel, Elite Athletes TV. That's on YouTube. And if you just Google it, I'm sure you'll find it, or go to YouTube and search it, you'll find it. But get a lot more football insight. You'll see some highlights from the Bears this year as well, talking about coverages, breaking things down on a really kind of intricate X's and O's term. I appreciate you watching. I will talk to you on Saturday. And as always, go Bears.